Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for checking the video. This is Southside Braves here, and today I got the Week 1 preview for the YouTube Challengers League, the YCL Pokemon Draft League. I'm excited to bring these to you. I was originally going to do them on Sundays. I decided Monday probably works better because if battles are getting uploaded on Sunday, it gives me an extra day to get highlights and stuff from them. So that's why you're going to see it on Mondays. So every Monday, I hope to have this out. And again, in future ones, you're going to see highlights of matches, maybe top plays, standings, everything like that. This one's going to be a little bit shorter because it is week 1. No one's played yet. So all this one's really going to have is I did my own little power rankings. They are kind of just a base for me to go off of. I haven't seen a majority of these coaches play. I think I've seen maybe 4 of them play before. So I expect these power rankings to be way wrong. But I wanted kind of a baseline for future weeks so I can see the improvement and decline of teams. So that's the idea. So like I said, if you're unhappy with where I placed you, just ask Monte. I did the SRL power rankings, and I'm pretty sure we placed him dead last. And I think he ended the regular season with the best record in the league. So like I said, these are going to be way wrong, and I expect them to be. But I wanted to have him out there. So yeah, we're going to look at power rankings. We're going to look at week 1 matchups and make my predictions of them. I'm going to give you my picks. If you want to get in on the picks, feel free to send them to me. I'll keep track throughout the season, see who has the best winning percentage in picking games. If that's something that interests you, like I said, Discord them to me, leave them down in the comments, something like that. And like I said, I'll keep track of them. So yeah, all that being said, let's jump right into it. First off, we're going to start at the bottom of the power rankings. I'm not going to say much about these teams because, again, I don't know the coaches. I just wanted a baseline, so I'm just going to kind of say where they're at. I'm not going to really talk in depth about any of the teams. 18th, we got the Stakatakas. 17th, we have the Indeedys. 16th, we have the Solrock. And 15th, we have the Poleons. I don't remember if there's any weird team names in this league, but if there are and I say your team name wrong, I apologize. Feel free to just correct me. Next up, in our next little grouping, at 14, we have the Heatmore. 13, we have the Crocodiles. 12, I put myself. 11, we have the Sydney 6. Moving on to the top 10. Top 10, we have the Rillaboomers coming in at 10. The Infernals at 9. The Volcanions at 8. I believe that's the Tyrantrums. Sorry if I remember your name incorrectly, but I think that's the Tyrantrums at 7. And 6, we have the Hustle Gods. So jumping into the top 5. My top 5 that I put up there, 5, I have the Immunity Idols. 4, the Miami Charizards. 3, the Volcanions. 2, the Tauros. And if you have a... Sorry for the logo I'm using. If you have a better one, let me know. And I'll make sure to replace it, but that's the only one I had. So that's the Tauros logo we got. And at 1, we have the Blazikens and Coach Sen. So yeah, these are my preseason, before any of the matches start. These are my power rankings. I'm guessing 2 to 4 weeks into the season, they'll be much more accurate. There'll be a bunch of change early once I get to see everyone play. So yeah, my guess is by week 4 or 5, they'll be much more accurate. But these are my preseason ones. If you're high up there, congrats. If you're not, doesn't really mean anything. So, yeah. But I wanted to throw those out there, so there they are. Moving on to the matchups, where I'm going to talk a little bit more about each of the teams in their week 1 matchups and make my predictions. Right off the bat, first match of the week, we have the Volcanions versus Volcanion. And I'm saying this is my game of the week. I think these two have a chance to be 2 of the better teams in the league. I think this one's going to be extremely close. Like I said, I'm excited to see these 2 teams. These are 2 of the better teams in my opinion. And just so you know, the way I did the Pokemon on the screen that you're looking at, first 2, I kind of just put their strongest 2 Pokemon. I'm going to kind of do that throughout the season. Whichever 2 Pokemon have been the best in the season, I'm going to put in those first 2 spots. The third one's kind of the wild card for a lot of these teams. It is just their third best maybe. But the third one's kind of the one I think has a good matchup I could see coming that won't be brought every week. So that's kind of how I did it. 2 great ones and then a wild card. So for the Volcanions, I think Salamence and Victini are just 2 really powerful mons, obviously. I think Quagsire is going to be big in this match as well. Personally, every time I go up against Quagsire, I struggle with it. So I think Quagsire is going to be big in this match. On the other side, the Volcanions with Celesteela, Tapu Koko, and Shuckle to get up hazards and webs would be nice for him. Like I said, this one's going to be close. Very, very close. It could really go either way. In my mind, I'm giving the early win of the game of the week to the Volcanions. I think they sneak this one out. I think Tapu Koko's strong as can be. I think Shuckle getting up those webs is going to be nice. Like I said, I'm excited to see this one. If you only watch 1 game this week, watch mine. But if you watch 2 games, watch this one as your second one. And if you don't know, if you're somebody that's not a part of the league, you're watching this, everyone in this league is putting their battles up on YouTube, I believe. So you should be able to see any of these battles any week you want. Like I said, make sure you check this one out. This is my game of the week. And I am picking the Volcanions to win this. Moving on to the second match. Sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit there. We have the Immunity Idols versus the LA Infernals. I believe this is the only match outside of my own where I've actually seen both these coaches play. I played in the SRL with the Coach Mounte and the Immunity Idols, and I played in the PWD with the LA Infernals. Both these coaches are extremely talented. This is going to be another good one. Yeah, just the teams. I like the Dragon Fairy Steel Core the Infernals have there, with the Garchomp, Mimikyu, and Bronzong. That's a good one. Dracozolt and Excadrill. Sorry, I don't know why I blanked on Excadrill's name. Dracozolt and Excadrill for the Immunity Idols is going to be big. Dracozolt does not have a great matchup, honestly, with Garchomp and Mimikyu on the other side. But, yeah. So those two is going to be tough for him to deal with a little bit. But I think he can get enough work done. I like the Excadrill. I want to see what Articuno can do. I haven't paid that close attention to the new birds. I think Articuno Galar could have a good match here. I think it's kind of a decent matchup for him to come in and do some things. And I hope it does, because, again, I want to see it. So, again, I think this is going to be another close one, but I'm going to give this one to the Idols. So, yeah, moving on to our third match of the week. We have the Blazikens, who I had as the number one team in my rankings, versus the Stakatakas. So if you looked at the rankings, I had Blazikens at number 1 and the Stakatakas at number 6 or 18. So by the power rankings, this shouldn't be a close match. But I actually think the Stakatakas match up fairly decently. Without this being a Dynamax League, I don't love Gyarados. Dynamax Gyarados is fantastic. Outside Dynamax, I don't think Gyarados is all that. So, like I said, I actually think Stakatakas have a chance here. I think they have a good matchup. Based on what I know about Sen, though, and looking at his team, though, I am still going to give this win to the Blazikens. But this one has a chance to be the upset of the week, in my opinion. But I am going to go with Blazikens and the number one team in my power rankings to win this one. Moving on. Match number 4. We have the Heatmore and the Indeedys. Heatmore with that Tapu Bulu, Rotom Wash, and Salazzle. Indeedy looking with the Dragapult, Primarina, and Scizor. Again, I love Dragon Fairy Steel Cores. The Indeedys have another good one with that Dragapult, Primarina, and Scizor. Good little combination there. I think Tapu Bulu is going to be a problem. I think Scizor is Indeedy's best answer to some of his things, but Salazzle is going to deal with that. So, yeah, I think this is a tough one for the Indeedys. I love their team. I've been a big Dragapult fan. Like I said, I really like that core they have going, but I think the Heatmore match up well enough against it that I'm going to give the slight advantage to the Heatmore here. Like I said, just in matchup-wise, I think the Heatmore just have the better Mons to go head-to-head here. Even though the Indeedys, I really like their team. I think they're going to be very successful this season overall. Just not in this matchup. I think the Heatmore just have their number here. So I am going to pick the Heatmore to win this one. And again, don't know either of these coaches, so I could be way wrong on all these. For all I know, Indeedy's win 6-0. But based on just what I see, I'm going to go with the Heatmore. Moving on to our fifth match. We have the Sydney 6 versus the Hustle Gods. Sydney 6 have a great top 2 Mons, in my opinion. Cinderace, Clefable are 2 very strong Mons. I think Flygon has a good matchup here. I think the Flygon almost forces him to bring the Slowbro a little bit. I think he'll bring it anyways, the Hustle Gods. But I think Slowbro deals with the Flygon very well for him. So I think you see both Slowbro and Flygon in this matchup. I just recently kind of saw Zapdos be able to go off. So I think the Choice Scarf variant, specifically of Zapdos, can be very, very good with the Galarian form. So this is another tough one, as most of the week ones are. Week 1 matches are. Like I said, I think I'll get better at this as they go on as well. But just based on what I'm looking at here, I like the Galarian Zapdos. I think Slowbro is going to be a good wall for him. I don't know many answers he has to break the Slowbro. So just based on that, like I said, those 2 Mons, Chandelure can come up big too. But kind of based on the Zapdos and Slowbros, is 2 that I think he'll bring for sure. I'm going to give this one to the Hustle Gods. I think they pick up their first win of the season. Moving on to match number 6. We have the Tyrantrum, and again, the only logo without a name. I'm pretty sure it's the Tyrantrum. Hopefully that's correct. If not, I apologize for giving him the wrong team name all video. But I'm pretty sure it's the Tyrantrum against the Solrock. This is another matchup of a lot of Pokemon I've used before and like. I love the Corviknight. I know he kind of picked a theme team. But I think Corviknight, Tangrowth are both must, and I think the Sandcastle I think has a good matchup with Zorora and Gengar being two of his opponent's best mons. I actually think that can be very big this week. I think Grimmsnarl setting up screens for the Solrock could be big if he brings that. I always like the attacking Grimmsnarl personally. If he decides to bring that one, it could catch his opponent off guard. He just has to be careful that Corviknight could cause some problems for him. Gengar has always been a good mon since Gen 1. I don't think Zorora actually has the best matchup here. I think it's a little weak for him. But he is still just a strong mon that I think will still find ways to do some damage. So, it's another one. I think it's tough. I think the Tyrantrum might have a slight advantage. But I just like the overall power better of the Solrock's team. So like I said, matchup-wise, I think I might give it to the Tyrantrum. But again, I just think, like I said, I just think Solrock's roster is stronger. So I'm going to go with the Solrock here. Another one I think could be very close, though. To be honest, if I get one wrong, I think it might be this one. This might be the one that I'm the least confident in. But I am going to stick with my pick of the Solrock. As you can see over on the right, I'm not going to break down my own match for 2 reasons. Don't really like to brag on my own team. I'm always going to pick myself. So over in the picks, you can see I picked myself. But I also don't want to kind of discuss things that I'm just choosing to bring or not. Don't want to put myself at a disadvantage there. So I'm going to pick myself, but I'm not going to break down that game. So moving on to the one after that, we have the Rillaboomers versus the Straw Hat Crocodiles. Lots of mons I like here. The Rillaboomers bringing Latias, Milotic, and Nidoking. It's going to be hard for me not to pick Nidoking, as he is my team's mascot. But it is going up against Dragonite, Azumarill, and Rotom-Mow. Again, the Rotom-Mow isn't a for sure bring, but I like it in the matchup to deal specifically with that Milotic. I think it's very big to deal with that, and it can also do some damage to Latias. So I think Rotom-Mow has a good matchup, so I'd be stunned if the Crocodiles don't bring that. But that being said, Dragonite I think is a great mon. I don't think Dragonite actually has the best matchup in this specific battle. It's still just strong mon that can do work, and if he brings the right variant of it, the right set, it can put in a lot of work. But I think he'll have better matchups later on that Dragonite will pick up more kills. But I still think he's a must-bring. I think he's just his strongest mon. So I bring it. Belly Drum Azumarill is my favorite Azumarill to bring. I've ran it in the PWD. Don't sleep on Azumarill. He doesn't necessarily even have to bring the Belly Drum. I always brought either Belly Drum or Assault Vest. So we'll see which one he wants to bring or something completely new that I didn't. So we'll see what he does with that. But Azumarill, I think, has a pretty decent matchup dealing with both the Latias and the Nidoking over on the other side. So, yeah, matchup-wise, I just think the Crocodiles have a good matchup here. I think they have the advantage. The Rotom-Mow, like I said, I think has a really good matchup. I think there's a chance Rotom-Mow puts in a ton of work. If he doesn't bring the Rotom-Mow, if he overthinks it or thinks differently than myself, I think this could put him at a disadvantage. But I think as long as the Rotom-Mow shows up and he plays it well, I'm giving this one to the Crocodiles. So, and again, I'm just looking at 3 mons of each. I looked at their whole rosters. I kind of put 3 on the screen. Obviously, it's 6-on-6 battles. But again, if I broke down all 6 I think they're going to bring on each team, 1, I don't want to give that much scouting to... I want to make sure people do their own scouting. And it'd be a much longer video. So yeah, I just kind of look at the 3 I think will show up that will make the biggest impact on the battle. Last matchup of the week, we have the Poleons versus the Tauros. Poleons 3 that I think will make an impact are Hydreigon, Mew, and Rotom Heat. For the Tauros, I have Latios, Cobalion, and I actually think this might be the one week Volibee actually has a purpose here. I know I'm pretty sure it's his last pick mon of the draft, the bottom tier of his roster, but I actually think it can do decent in this matchup if he decides to bring it. If any of my predictions are wrong about who they bring, it's going to be this one. I went way out of the box here, but I think Volibee has a good matchup and can serve a really good purpose here. Setting up a Tailwind, being able to eat some hits. EVOI Volibee is no joke. it can tank some things. So I actually like it in this matchup. I'm excited to see if I'm right and see if he brings it. But outside of that, Latios, Cobalion, still two good mons. On the other side, like I said, Hydreigon and Mew and Rotom Heat. Mew, I think, is underrated in a lot of people's minds. I think Mew can be very, very, very strong. Hydreigon's hit and miss, in my opinion, for me. But just based on matchup, I think Hydreigon has a decent matchup here, especially if he can deal with the Latios. So, that being said, like I said, another close one. All these, I think, week 1 are going to be close, but who really knows? But I am going to go with the Poleons here. I think the combination of Hydreigon and Mew is going to put in a lot of work. Rotom Heat's a good mon too. And I can deal with the Cobalion, but I like the Hydreigon Mew to really carry the team here. So I am going to go with the whole Empoleons to win that matchup. That is all 8. Obviously, the matchups, I'll be able to talk more about their rosters in later weeks as I see how they play. Same with the power rankings. They'll adjust as the season goes on. This is week 1, probably the roughest around the edges of these, but I wanted to get it out there, show you what this is going to be like. Again, future ones, I'm going to add more highlights, breakdowns of the matches, standings, and like league leaders and stats. So these should be fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you check them out in future weeks, and good luck to everyone in their battles. Make sure you go check out the videos of all the people in the league. Again, check out that game of the week and also mine. It should be your top 2 watches. But outside of that, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you next week. Bye.